You guys have asked me to spend a little bit more time talking about some players that I personally prefer out of this 2023 draft class. And that's a hard thing for me to deviate from just because I'm trying to identify the guys that I think fit the scheme, fit the Philadelphia Eagles culture, fit the draft value that the Eagles have shown us. But I do got one guy in mind to talk to you about today, guys, because underserved, underrated in the cornerback market. As Philadelphia Eagle fans, we should all know this name, bro, because he mirrors someone on the Eagles almost identically. All right, y'all, let's get into it. What's up, Cerebral football fans? My name is Steven Hyder. This is Gate City Sports Channel. So as I stated, guys, this is just kind of one of these offshoots to talk about a player that I'm pretty high on from this 2023 draft class. I think there are a ton of good corners in this draft class. I mean, to be honest with you, depending on exactly what type of corner you're looking for, I can find you a guy that if your coaching staff does its job and the player comes into the NFL ready to work, it's going to work out. But we all have names. We all have those guys that we love and we want to see succeed. Last draft class, I came out and I told you guys, I was a pretty big fan of Martin Emerson. I thought Martin Emerson could have a bright future in front of him if he got to the right type of scheme. Really and honestly, a Vic Fangio-style scheme where they're going to play some safety above him and allow that big, lengthy frame to disrupt receivers and really cause some havoc with the assurance of safety up above them. With that said, I got another name, guys. I got another player that I am ready to talk about today, and that is cornerback from Kansas State. Yeah, I know I'm going out there pretty far, guys. Julius Brents. This dude reminds me so much of a current Philadelphia Eagle. I'm telling you, just like Martin Emerson gave me those James Bradberry vibes, Julius Brents is giving me those James Bradberry vibes. Let's go into the physical details here. Let's start with James Bradberry so that way everyone knows exactly what it is that I'm looking at in terms of the measurements here. James Bradberry came into the NFL Combine at 6'1", roughly 210 pounds. He had 33.38-inch arm reach, man. Big, physical, disruptive corner. But James Bradberry he's a slept-on athlete. People just don't recognize how good of an athlete this dude is. When you're big like this, you don't make it in the NFL unless you can get them feet moving a little bit. He put up a 4.5 40, and this is a lesson today to pay attention. Not all 40 times are the same or are equal. 4.5 40 with a 1.5 3/10 split. That's a really good 10 split for a 4.5, guys. A 2.6 20. And then he jumped 36 inches in the vertical, and then at the combine, he jumped 124 inches in the broad jump, and then 132 inches on the broad jump at his pro day. He was a really, really athletically gifted guy. Lateral movement ability. A 6.9 1.3 cone followed up by a 4.2 short shuttle. James Bradberry was definitely a guy that if you understood the way the game was played, if you understood the type of system he would be a fit in, you kind of knew, man, this dude would do really well in certain systems that allow him to play to the size and his athleticism. Martin Emerson, when Martin Emerson came out just last season, guys, he came into the combine at 6'2", about 201 pounds, 33.5-inch arm reach. He put up a 4.5 3/40 with a 1.5 7/10 split, and then a 2.6 3/20 split. He didn't do the vertical, he didn't do the broad jump, which always bothered me about Martin Emerson. Guys, do the broad jump and the vertical. We need to know those numbers. But nonetheless, when you turn on the film, immediately when you looked at Martin Emerson, you're thinking to yourself, dude, that dude plays the game a little bit like James Bradberry. I'm going to be real. This year, Julius Brents, cornerback, Kansas State. 6'3", 198 pounds, basically 200 pounds, guys, with a 34-inch arm reach. Stick with me. A 4.5 3/40 with a 1.5 10 split. Guys, that 10 split is in the 94th percentile of all cornerbacks in the NFL. That's nuts for a dude that big. 2.5 7/20 split. That's in the 84th percentile. So we're talking roughly the upper 15-16% of the NFL. And then he had a 41.5-inch vertical. 97 percentile for cornerbacks. This dude is a little bit of a rare athlete. And once again, going into the whole thing of guys, do the broad jump. These things are important. What you run that 10 split, what you do on that vertical, and what you do on the broad jump speak a lot to your explosive traits. Do those drills. Stop playing with us. Here's where Julius Brents' numbers get even crazier. The dude put up a 6.63 3 cone. Let me tell you how crazy that 3 cone number is. Avonte Maddox, one of the better athletically gifted dudes inside of the NFL, right? 6'5", This dude's only, 6'3", freaking 200 pounds, putting up a 6'6" 3 cone, guys. That's nuts. And then he put up a 4.05 short shuttle, which is also a fairly good time for a dude that size. This guy can move. He can move laterally. He's explosive, right? A 1.5-10 split with a 41.5-inch vertical. This is an explosive athlete. Oh, he's the definition of rangy and lengthy at the corner position, guys. 6'3" with a 34-inch freaking arm reach. The dude is disruptive around the football. Like, there's some dudes in this draft class like Eli Ricks from Alabama who I think is a little under-talked about, to be honest. So I think not the greatest athlete. He's not this level athlete, Eli Ricks isn't. But, I mean, the dude's production, when you turn on the film, it speaks for itself, right? Joey Porter Jr. is this type of athlete. I would say that, in my opinion, Julius Brents is a little better of an athlete, but they're comparable. They're both really long-frame, disruptive corners when you turn the film on. I do think that there are guys here that are being slept on in this draft class. Let me just run through the actual numbers here. He was targeted 52 times on the season. Those 52 targets worked out to 8.2 targets per snap, which is a pretty good number, guys. It means that teams opted normally not to try to target him on that team. They were going for the other guys. And there's a reason why. Quarterbacks were 24 or 52 against him, which is a 46.2% completion rate, under 50%. He had 6 forced incompletions for a 12% forced incompletion rate. There are other guys with more forced incompletions. They also got targeted more. But this is what I think makes him kind of special. He had 3 pass breakups. But boy, if you put the ball in harm's way versus him, he had 4 interceptions. He will take the football away. Hey, man, long, athletic, will take the football away. What more do you want from a prospect coming out of college? To me, this dude is clearly what I would call a right cornerback. Basically what you're talking about is a boundary side cornerback. So think James Bradberry in the Philadelphia Eagles system. But he's got the athletic abilities to basically play either side. He can play the field side, he can play the boundary. Honestly, man, this is a prospect that when I went through and I looked at it and I saw that 57.7 NFL passer rating that he was giving up, which is phenomenally good. I thought to myself, why are no other teams really looking into this dude? I mean, the Eagles did give him, not only did they talk to him, I think at the combine, they did talk to him prior to giving him a top 30 visit, but they just gave this young man a top 30 visit. The Philadelphia Eagles did. Now, I will tell you that one of the downsides is that his birth date is one of those weird birth dates where it falls in January, so he just turned 23. Which, you got some other guys in this class that are 22, so if you're going to sit a dude for a year or two, right, they're going to be like the third corner or fourth corner on your team. When I say third or fourth corner, guys, I'm not including the slot nickel corner. I'm talking about outside. The main backup to the outside spots is what I'm talking about. If you're going to have a guy like this, I can see some arguments where people are like, man, he might be 24, 25 by the time he becomes a full-time starter, which is still very young in the NFL. But I can definitely get people wanting that to be a year younger. I don't care, man. I'm just looking at the overall talent level here. I know that people are like, oh, Darius Slay and James Bradberry have just got 3-year deals. I mean, I think we're pretty good there. The thing is you got to understand how contract structure works, guys. You get a 3-year deal, doesn't mean you're going to be on the team for 3 years. You got to realize that the Eagles have built in contingencies to get out of those contracts after this season. Now, do I think they're going to be out of those contracts on both players after the season? No. I think the target date is the 2025 season. I think that's when they want to start looking for a new, fresh beginning when it comes to the outside corner spots. But don't get it twisted, man. If you get these young kids in here and they start out playing these dudes, they're going to move off those contracts. They set it up to do that if they have to. With that said, I'm a huge James Bradberry fan. You know that I think Martin Emerson has got some ability, and if he's in the right scheme in the NFL, I think he can do quite well. I'm telling you, Julius Brents, guys, this is one of my players, and I'm telling you, this is a guy to watch. All right, y'all, I appreciate y'all's time and attention. Leave your comments down below. Like I said, this is one of my personal favorites from this draft class. And like I said, this draft class is so loaded at corner. You give me the attributes you want, I can find you a corner in this draft class. This is a very good one. This is one of those ones where I would not be shocked if at the end of day 2, so between rounds 1 through rounds 3, I wouldn't be shocked if more than 15 guys at the cornerback spot don't come off the board. I think there are easily 15 prospects at the corner spot this season, in this draft class, I should say, this draft year, that are coming off the board. Easily, in my opinion. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys on the next video.